So in the previous lecture we just saw how we can just change the MAC addresses from the two techniques. So one was using the application that comes prepackaged with this Kali Linux, that is the MAC changer, and the next one was our own idea, that is the ifconfig. So what we just did here was we just made our WLAN 0, which was the interface, to change its MAC addresses by changing its argument to that field what we want to just include. So you can see completely over here we just change from that original MAC addresses to this MAC addresses what we just assigned over here. So let's make use of this technique in this and upcoming lecture to make our complete MAC changer application. So before that, first of all, we have to just talk about some of the module that we are going to use in this lecture. So before that, we have to install the PyCharm. So in order to install the PyCharm on your machine, open your Firefox. Let me just remove this one, and you can simply say something like download PyCharm, and you will get this link. I have already downloaded. Okay, I'll just go to this link, which is JetBrains link. You will see that it has the platforms here, that is Windows, Mac OS X or Linux. Based on your platform, just click on Linux, and you have to download this community version. Press on this download, it will just give you this link, and you have to first unzip it. So basically this will be zip file, and you have to first extract this. So after extracting, you will get the folder that should look like something, maybe this. So that should be this folder. So let me go to the desktop, and after extracting, I got this PyCharm community folder. I get into it, and basically after going into the bin, so there is a bin, and I just open the terminal right over here because I want to just navigate to this directory. After that, you have to just press sh and this PyCharm folder. So you have to open this PyCharm application, which should be done with this PyCharm. You can also use the tab in order for the auto completion. Just press enter now, and after just pressing enter, you will just open this PyCharm application. So after you just open that PyCharm, you will have to first create the new project. Just create the new project, press on that new project, and you'll just get this Python file, or basically you'll just get this project at first. And in order to create the Python file, you have to go to the new and on this Python file. We have done this in the Windows in the previous couple of lectures before, so that shouldn't be any problem for you. So now first of all, what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'll just say regular expression, import me a regular expression. We need that. So you know what is the use of the regular expression, that is finding, searching or matching the patterns from the string or the sequence of characters. So next module will be very important module. So if you just remember in the previous lecture, what we did was we just run this command. We just run this couple of command, that is making down, or basically just making the interface down, and running this command, and again running this command. So that you can see here we are running a 3 commands in this lecture, basically in order to change the MAC address. So we did first this command, and again this command, and again this command. So what you can see here is we are just running a bunch of a command in the terminal. So what we can normally do now is we have to run this command, or basically we have to make this command from any module so that it will be executed at once. So that is our main purpose. So in order to just run this type of command in this command line interface, which we normally call the terminal, so there is module, and I want you to show that module. That is very important module in Python, that is sub process module. It is very much important module, and this is platform independent. That means you can run this in the Linux or Windows, or in Linux, or basically in a Mac also. So this is sub process module. So we have to import this sub process module real quick. So let me just go back to the PyCharm again, and I'll just say import me sub process. So this is the way to import any module to your project, and this is inbuilt process, so that means you don't need to just install these packages manually. So get back here again. Let me just go again here, and let me just open the Firefox, and you can see that we have this sub process module, and there are bunch of a method. We are not going to directly show you what this method is in a minute, but we'll see one by one if we just get that method used in our lecture. So before that, I want to show you this method, or basically not this method, I want to show you this method, check output method, because now we are going to use this check output method. So you can see the documentation right over here saying that this command basically run with the arguments. So arguments here can be your network interface, which is bunch of a network interface, which is basically Ethio0, Yellow, or WLAN 0. So this will be your argument. So which one you want to change? So if you want to change the MAC addresses of Ethio0, you have to enter this one. If you want WLAN 0, you have to change this one. So that is your arguments. So basically what it is saying is it will run the command with argument and return its output as a byte string. That means it will just return as a string. Okay, that is useful. So let's go back to our PyCharm and let's do some coding. So first of all, in this lecture we are not going to directly change the MAC addresses of the machine, but before that I want to show you how we can execute the command, like this command. So if I just go again here, and what if I want to do something like ifconfig, and if I hit enter, this will just get us. So if I say something like ifconfig and only the WLAN 0, this is the information that we get, because we are just running this command in the terminal. So we want to do same as this, but with the PyCharm now. So we want to run this whole command and get the MAC addresses from this Python code in this lecture, and in the next lecture we'll just change this MAC addresses to something that is entered by the user, or maybe custom, or maybe we can also assign the random numbers to that MAC addresses. So first of all, we have imported the two modules which are important modules. So next is I'll just make output. So now we have to make use of this sub process module. Just give a period in order to make the method use of that process, which is the module. And I have already shown you before that I am going to use this check output method, which is right here. And let's go back to the PyCharm again, and I'll just say check output. So this is the method I'm going to use, and basically this will run with the arguments. So I'm not going to use arguments yet, but I'll just make a list. So in this list I am going to run, or basically I am going to type a command. So if you just remember, the command was ifconfig, and after that I'll just give space, and I want to, okay, basically I have to just put this addition operator after this double quote, and I have to just join this with WLAN 0, because I want the MAC addresses of this WLAN 0. So after that I want this cell be true. So this cell is basically your command line interface. So we have created this check output method to uses. So that means we have run this command now in the cell, and now we are getting the output. So from this output I want to only search the MAC address. So because if you see here, if you just run this output, you are going to get this bunch of information, but we don't want this, because in this lecture, in the upcoming lecture, we are only interested is in this ether part, which is the MAC addresses. So we are going to extract this, and you know what is the way to get the information from that string. It is obviously with the regular expression, because we are going to search, we are going to match. So we have to now say that current MAC address. So the current MAC address should be searched from this regular expression, and I am going to use the search method, and you know why, because this is going to give a global search. If I just say match, it is not going to work, because that will do the local search. I want the global search. So now you know how to just write the pattern. So you know how to write the pattern, that is with this R and double quote. After that I want any word that is, okay, let me show you this pattern now. I haven't talked about this pattern before. So this is saying that /w can be any character. So this is for any character. That can be digit, that can be number. So MAC address also can be the number and can be the digit. So that means we'll have this, okay, let me just really type faster. So /w and again colon. I'll just give you the example and you'll just understand what I'm doing here. So again colon, let me say /w, maybe we are typing the 5 time, so last time now. So you could see we have now this 6 times. So this 1 2 3 4 5 6. If I go back, let me just copy our MAC addresses and I'll show you what is happening here. So let's go back to the PyCharm. Let me just go down and let me just paste it here. So let me just comment this out again. So you could see what we are doing here is this WW means any character. So this WW represents this 2-digit. There is colon in between them. In this colon, so we are just searching for the MAC addresses in that whole line of this output of this command. So after we just pass the pattern, and you know the next argument to this search is going to be the string where you want to search. So in this case we don't have any sentence, rather we have the output, because we want to search in the output of this command. So I'm just searching that in this output and just closing here. So this output can be in the form of any of these integer or maybe the boolean. So instead of just having the error, let's make this typecasted to the string for removing any error if we just came to any. So we just did something like we just get the MAC addresses now from that command. We just ran the command and we just got the MAC addresses. So let's print that MAC address now. So you can clearly see now what we just did. We just ran this command in the shell. We just get that MAC addresses with this pattern. We just printed that MAC addresses. So let me just run real quick now. Run this MAC changer. You'll get output right here. So this is your MAC addresses. So you can also see if this is true or not by just going over here, and you could clearly see these were the MAC addresses that we just changed back here. So we just managed to make a Python code which will just get the current MAC addresses by running this command on this shell and getting the output, and we search for the MAC addresses and get the MAC address. So in the next lecture we'll see how these MAC addresses can be manipulated and how we can just change with the help of some of the techniques and some of the modules. So in the next lecture we'll see how to just change these MAC addresses. So that will be interesting lecture. See you in the next one.